Hi YouTube, Kelsey here. I want to apologize for having to use my phone right now. It was a busy day and I didn't get around to setting up my camera to do like a good quality update. It's been a busy day and it just explains why I look like a mess because it's just been a busy day of doing lots of things around the house. So didn't do my hair, didn't do my makeup. It's just been one of those days. And so, yeah, and it's like 9 o'clock here, and I just got my kids to bed, so figured I'd hurry and crank out this update. I am 30 weeks today, so for my week 29 recap, week 29 started, the first couple days were actually okay. And then Saturday hit, or came around, and that morning, I actually slept in till about, I think I got up about maybe noon. I think it was about noon when I got out of bed because my husband has been letting me sleep in as much as possible. And so it was noon when I got out of bed and I got up, went to the bathroom, and I was walking around my house and started getting an insane amount of pressure, like horrible pressure. It was extremely painful to walk and to move. Even sitting down was just excruciating. I mean, if I wasn't laying flat, I was in a lot of pain. Even laying flat still gave me pain. But where I was sitting up or standing, I was just in horrible pain. I was crying. It was terrible. I was having like a really sharp shooting pain with the pressure. And I kind of just waited it out for a little bit. My grandma, she surprised and showed up at my house unexpectedly around like 2 o'clock. And I love my grandma to death, but I don't like surprise visits. And my house was a pigsty. And I'm like a horrible mess because I had been crying and I just looked a mess. And I was having the pain, and I finally, after a few hours, was like, this pain is not going away. I mean, I tried drinking water, I tried eating, nothing I was doing was helping this pressure, and it was like a very hard pressure down in my like pelvis. And so my husband had to go to work he left about 4:30. And after he left, I was just like, I can't take this anymore. And so my grandma was still at the house, and since we live with my in-laws, my mother-in-law was home, and my father-in-law was getting home from work later that night in a few hours. And so I asked my grandma, I was like, can you please take me to the hospital? I am in so much pain. I want to get looked at to make sure it's not contractions. I didn't think it was just very low pressure. It wasn't like my stomach tightening. So I didn't think, I knew it wasn't contractions, and so I asked her if she could take me to go get checked out, just to be, it's better to be safe than sorry. Why not? And my mother-in-law stayed with my 3 boys, so my grandma could take me. So we got to the hospital a little after 5 and got taken up to labor and delivery. And I did a urine test when I first got into the room as I was changing into a gown. My urine looked like tea, like black tea. I mean, it was dark brown. My urine was dark brown. And so obviously that was indicating something was going on. So they ran the test on the urine. They didn't want to do anything else until they got that result back. Well, that result came back as having a lot of skin cells in it. So they're like, well, maybe you just didn't get a good enough, urine catch. So they ended up doing, or I guess the nurse called my doctor and he wanted her to do a catheter draw. So they inserted a catheter and drained some urine straight from there, and then took the catheter out, and it still was coming out just dark brown. I've never seen my urine that dark before. I mean, it looked like somebody had been sipping tea. It was that, it was dark. It wasn't yellow at all. It was just pure brown. And so after that, as that was getting sent down to the lab, and they decided to come draw some blood to check like my liver and that kind of stuff. And the blood work all came back perfect. Nothing was out of the ordinary other than my white blood count was like slightly higher. I think she said the average is like 10 and it was at like 10.4, so it was like barely over, so they weren't worried about that. My urine still came back with a ton of skin cells plus massive amount of blood in my urine. They said there is a ton of blood in your urine, like a lot of blood, which is why they wanted to check my liver and that kind of stuff. They never hooked me up to an IV. They said that I was actually hydrated, like my hydration levels came back fine in the urine test, like all that was fine. It was just, I had a ton of blood in my urine. Which they thought maybe I was trying to pass kidney stone, which could explain the pressure and the pain I was having, but they weren't sure. They didn't do an ultrasound on my kidneys or anything like that, so I'm not 100% sure if I had a kidney stone or what, but it's possible. They checked my cervix. And as you know, your cervix is long, it's thick, and then as you're in labor, it thins out to nothing. And so it's thick, so there's the opening at the bottom that goes into your vagina, and then the opening that at the top of your cervix that goes up into your uterus. And I was like starting to dilate. I wasn't fully open though. So it's thick, but she could only get her finger like halfway through it and then it stopped. So the bottom part of my cervix was opening, but the part that goes up into my uterus was still closed. I forget what they call that, but yeah, so I wasn't like I wasn't dilated or anything. It was just starting to kind of open. I guess kind of funneling up from the bottom rather than down from the uterus. I don't know if I'm dilated anymore since then. I mean, it's been almost a week since then, and I've been having not a lot, but some mucus here and there coming out. So I'm thinking I might be starting to dilate a little more, but who knows. So my doctor ended up coming in to see me just to check on me. And he put me on an antibiotic, thinking to try to see if we could kick out the pain, see if it was just a normal infection, just kind of like a bladder kidney infection type thing. I'm still taking the pills for it twice a day, but I'm still having quite a bit of sharp pain. So I'm thinking the antibiotics aren't helping, but I do feel a little better. I've had a lot of the pressure today again, like really bad, but I've also been up doing things today and yesterday, trying to get rooms clean and switching out my boys' old clothes and putting in their new clothes for winter and fall and that kind of stuff, and rearranging my bedroom. I finally got my big craft table. It was like right here where all this stuff is. And yeah, so got all that out today and kind of organized my room. So it's semi-ready for when we put the baby's bed in here. And I got my rocking chair finally. Found it used for pretty cheap, so I'm happy about that. And it's comfy. But yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really had a whole lot of contractions, just some here and there. So nothing too bad. Like I said, it's just been a lot of the pressure. And some sharp pain. So I see my doctor on Tuesday again, so I'm going to ask him to recheck my urine probably and see what's going on there, just to make sure it's getting better. You know, my urine's not brown anymore, so that's a good sign, but I'm still having the pain. So yeah, so I think that's really it. That was my excitement over this last week. So I lost 1 pound and 4 ounces this week. Nothing major. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I will see you in my next update. Thanks, guys. Bye.